ॐ अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। हरिः ओम्। ॐ तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः। Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramakrishna. Welcome to this 36th week of the class on the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. It's called Readings and Reflections. I'll read a few passages before we discuss some of the points that arise from there. We were in the chapter, the Master's birthday celebration at Dakshineswar from the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. We read a few paragraphs that was noted on February 25th, 1883. I'm continuing from there. Mr. Chaudhary, Sir, is it not possible to have the vision of God without the help of a Guru? Master, Satchidananda himself is the Guru. At the end of the Shavasadhana, just when the vision of the Ishta is about to take place, the Guru appears before the aspirant and says to him, Behold, there is your Ishta. Saying this, the Guru merges in the Ishta. He who is the Guru is also the Ishta. The Guru is the thread that leads to God. Women perform a ritualistic worship known as Ananta Brata, the object of worship being the infinite. But actually, the deity worshipped is Vishnu. In him are the infinite forms of God. To Ram and the other devotees, if you ask me which form of God you should meditate upon, I should say, fix your attention on that form which appeals to you. Never harbor malice towards anyone. Shiva, Kali, and Hari are but different forms of that one. He is blessed indeed who has known all as one. Outwardly, he appears as Shiva's devotee, but in his heart, he worships Kali, the blissful mother, and with his tongue, he chants aloud Lord Hari's name. The body does not endure without a trace of lust, anger, and the like. You should try to reduce them to a minimum. Looking at Kedar, the master said, He is very nice. He accepts both the absolute and the relative. He believes in Brahman, but he also accepts the gods and divine incarnations in human form. In Kedar's opinion, Sri Ramakrishna was such an incarnation. Looking at Nitya Gopal, the master said to the devotees, he is in a lofty mood. To Nitya Gopal, don't go there too often. You may go once in a while. She may be a devotee, but she is a woman too. Therefore, I warn you. The sannyasi must observe very strict discipline. He must not look even at the picture of a woman. But this rule doesn't apply to householders. An aspirant should not associate with a woman even though she is very much devoted to God. A sannyasi, even though he may have subdued his passions, should follow this discipline to set an example to householders. Worldly people learn renunciation by seeing the complete renunciation of a monk. Otherwise, they sink more and more. A sannyasi is a world teacher. Friday, March 9, 1883. About 9 o'clock in the morning, the master was seated in his room with Rakhal, Yam, and a few other devotees. It was the day of the new moon. As usual, with him on such days, Sri Ramakrishna entered again and again into communion with the Divine Mother. He said to the devotees, God alone exists and all else is unreal. The Divine Mother has kept all deluded by her Maya. Look at men. Most of them are entangled in worldliness. They suffer so much, but still they have the same attachment to woman and gold. The camel eats thorny shrubs, and blood gushes from its mouth. Still it will eat thorns. While suffering pain at the time of delivery, a woman says, Ah, I shall never go to my husband again. But afterwards, she forgets. The truth is that no one seeks God. Why do people who eat the prickly leaves of the pineapple and not the fruit? Devotee. Sir, why has God put us in this world? Master. The world is the field of action. Through action, one acquires knowledge. The Guru instructs the disciple to perform certain works and refrain from others. Again, he advises the pupil to perform action without desiring the result. The impurity of the mind is destroyed through the performance of duty. It is like getting rid of a disease by means of a medicine under the instruction of a competent physician. Why doesn't God free us from the world? Ah, He will free us when the disease is cured. He will liberate us from the world when we are through with the enjoyment of woman and gold. Once a man registers his name in the hospital, he cannot run away. The doctor will not let him go away unless his illness is completely cured. During these days, Sri Ramakrishna's heart overflowed with motherly love, like the love Yashoda felt for Krishna. So he kept Rakal with him. Rakal felt toward the master as a child feels towards its mother. He would sit leaning on the master's lap as a young child leans on its mother while sucking her breast. Rakhal was thus seated by the master when a man entered the room and said that a high tide was coming in the Ganges. The master and the devotees ran to the Panchavati to see it. At the sight of a boat being tossed by the tide, Sri Ramakrishna exclaimed, Look, look, I hope nothing happens to it. They all sat in the Panchavati. The master asked Yam to explain the cause of the tide. Yam drew on the ground the figures of the sun, moon, and earth and tried to explain gravitation, ebb tide, flood tide, new moon, full moon, eclipse, and so forth. Master to Yam, stop it. I can't follow you. It makes me dizzy. My head is aching. Well, how can they know of things so far off? You see, during my childhood, I could paint well, but arithmetic would make my head spin. I couldn't learn simple arithmetic. Sri Ramakrishna returned to his room with the devotees. Looking at a picture of Yashoda on the wall, he said, It is not well done. She looks like a garland seller. So, dear devotees, these are the passages that we read today. These passages are excellent as usual in whatever page you turn in the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. You get such wonderful nuggets of truth, and you always imagine from where Sri Ramakrishna is getting such wonderful truths that he is telling the people. Last week we started from February 25th, 1883. We saw a few people have come to him and they were seated in his room. So it was a noon meal was over. So the master was having conversation with the devotees. Who are those devotees? So Yam, that is the author of the gospel, writes there, Ram, Kedar, Nitya Gopal, and others had arrived from Calcutta. Rakhal, Harish, Latu, and Hazra were living with the master. Mr. Chaudhary also had come there. He recently had lost his wife, So for consolation purpose he has come. And he has been visiting Master earlier also and was getting peace of mind. So looking at all these devotees surrounded by Master Hari Anant, Hari Katha Ananta, Tulsidas says, Hari itself is infinite. And after a few moments, he explains what is Guru. And he says that women perform a ritualistic worship known as Ananta Vrata. Ananta means infinite. And whom they worship in that Vrata, in that Vrata means observance of a vow. So they observe that. So when they observe that, whom they worship, Sri Ramakrishna says, the object of worship being the infinite, but the actual deity worshipped is Vishnu. So Vishnu is equated with infinite. Why not? Because the Vishnu term itself signifies the infinity. So God is pervasive. God is all pervasive, we say. He is pervading everything in this world. So what is Vishnu? Vyaptatvat Vishnu. This I have told repeatedly several places. Vyaptatvat. Vyapta means pervasion. So the Vishnu, the entirety or X, whatever it is, and that is that which is pervading everywhere, everything in this time space world, and that is Vishnu. And that is called Ananta. So he says, infinite are the glories of God. Hari Katha Ananta. That's what Tulsidas also said. Infinite are the glories. If the infinite Vishnu himself is infinite, and his glories must be also infinite. It cannot be finite. So he says that he's talking to Chaudhary, and Chaudhary is putting a question now. He says, is it not possible to have the vision of God without the help of a guru? That means, is a guru necessity? So without guru also, can I not get the vision of God? Then Sri Ramakrishna gives a beautiful answer. He says, who is guru? First understand that. Sachidananda himself is the guru. Sachidananda E Guru. That is what in Bangla it comes. That E in Bangla means alone, himself. That is the meaning. So, what does Guru do? What is his function? He, and I do not know the place, and somebody says it's all dark, you hold my pole. I have got a small stick, you hold the other end of the stick and walk with me. And he leads me. And he leads me to a place of light. That is Guru. And he says, the Guru is the thread that leads to God. And he says, what the Guru does is uses one nice example of Shava Sadhana. There are many kinds of tantric sadhanas are available, that people have been practicing. Even now, there are a few who practice this type of tantric sadhanas. So they are not to be denigrated, they are not to be dismissed without any, say, thinking that they have got no meaning. But for some people who have that type of temperament, those tantric sadhanas are very useful to them. So the tantric sadhanas are coming from long back. So Sri Ramakrishna has seen all these tantric sadhanas. He had a guru by name Bhairavi Brahmani, and she taught him all the tantric sadhanas. 64 tantric sadhanas he performed. And he found out each sadhana leads to the same goal. And that's why he knew all these sadhanas. So Sava sadhana is one of that type of sadhana. What is Shava sadhana? You go to a cremation ground. There are many bodies. Some are burnt, some are half burnt, some are full burnt, and something which is not yet burnt, it is lying there. And you go there and sit on the dead body. It's called Shava, on the dead body. And then you do meditation. So this is one kind of sadhana, some of the tantrics do. So this was the sadhana is being done by one aspirant. Okay, what happened to him? Just he was maturing enough to have the vision of God, that is his Ishta Devata, whom he adored and loved all his heart. That God was about to appear. At that time, Guru appeared before him. That is his Guru, who taught him all these tantric sadhanas. He appeared before him. What did he say? Behold, there is your Ishta. He's showing his Ishta to him. And the moment he showed the Ishta, and the aspirant looked at his Ishta, who has come there in all his wonderful, this Guru says to him, behold, there is your Ishta. Your Ishta has appeared. And the Guru showed this aspirant the Ishta. And what he says, saying this, the Guru merges with the Ishta. So where did he disappear? He disappeared. He disappeared into Ishta. So that is the very purpose of a Guru. Jivatma with Paramatma is what the work of a Guru. So Sri Ramakrishna says, who is Guru? In that case, whom I should consider my Guru? Yes, you may consider anyone as your Guru. Is he capable of taking you and showing you your Ishta? Is he able to guide you in your spiritual path? So lots of these questions also appear. And then you say, people come and say, oh, I went to your Guru and he taught me this thing, that thing, but nothing happened to me, so I left. So one by one, he has left 5, 6 gurus. And what he will do? In none of the place, he was able to completely sit with him. You know, here Sri Ramakrishna is talking to Kedar. Kedar was such person. He has practiced many types of disciplines and he did not find peace of mind. At long last, he found Sri Ramakrishna and came to Sri Ramakrishna. So Sri Ramakrishna used to advise him, stick to one path and then follow it. Then you will realize. Sri Ramakrishna used to make a very funny example of a man wanted to dig a well in his property. So he started digging, say about 20 feet. And then no water was there. So he went another 6 meters distance and dig again. So second time also, 20 feet he went, he did not get water. Then again, third place. So Sri Ramakrishna says, if he was at one place itself gone to 60 feet, he would have got water. But going from place to place and doing 20 feet, he could not. So he told Kedar, observe one discipline. And after coming to Sri Ramakrishna, Kedar became highly devoted to Sri Ramakrishna. And then he is telling that Satchidananda himself is Guru. And then he is looking at Ram and other devotees. If you ask me which form of God you should meditate upon, just imagine. I should say, Sri Ramakrishna himself says, fix your attention on that form which appeals to you most. That means in this world, we are so many people, and each one has got a particular tendency with which each one is born, and each one has got his own idea of his Ishta Devata. Certain Ishta Devatas, certain Devatas will appeal to one, certain Devatas will not appeal to one. So one has to find out what is his Ishta Devata. That itself many people are unable to find out. You know, if you ask somebody, what is your Ishta Devata, they are unable to say. Because they say, I like Ram, I like Krishna, I like Shiva, I like Hari, I like Kali, I like everything. There is no such Ishta. No, it cannot be. Out of all these, according to your temperament, one must be foremost in your attraction. Sometimes the attraction changes also. In your childhood, you have one deity as your Ishta Devata. And then you grow up and then you look at different things, and you gain some knowledge also, and then you take another one as Ishta Devata. So you are born into a family, but then that deity also you worship. Slowly, you grow into another place, and another place you go there, and you adopt that deity as your Ishta. That happens. So in everyone's life, you find that many deities come into our presence, and we choose. That's why Ishta it is called chosen deity. Ishta Devata means chosen deity, chosen by you as well as by the Ishta. God also chooses you, which form he is so nice to you, he is wonderful to you, in which form you delight extremely. Tulsidas, before he wrote Ramcharitmanas, that was the story told in our by great men. Once I was in Brindavan listening to some stories. So that Pandit was telling one story. I heard it from him only. So it was a public meeting. So he was telling a story about Tulsidas. Tulsidas was very attached to the form and name of Sri Ram. He was not interested in worshipping Krishna or Shiva, etc. But later you find in Ramcharitmanas itself, he has got praises about Ganesha, Saraswati, Shiva, etc. Other deities also have come. But earlier he was not like that. He had very good devotion, intense devotion to Lord's Sri Ram only. So some people, some of his friends were traveling to Vrindavan, and they told Tulsi, you also come with us. Tulsi agreed. Okay, first he was not very willing to go because Vrindavan is a place for Krishna and Radha. So he thought, let me not go there because I'm not interested in Krishna. Let me stay where I am. But then they insisted, so he went. So what he did, when he went there, he refused to enter any of the Krishna's temple. And then there he was waiting outside. But in one temple, the Krishna's decoration was extremely wonderful. So the friends thought, we are enjoying by our eyes, and how wonderful, we are blessed to see this decoration. And this man is standing outside, not able to enjoy this. Let us go and call him. So they called him. Come and at least see this decoration. If you don't believe in Krishna, it doesn't matter. But you just close your eyes and see, open your eyes only to see the decoration part. So finally, Tulsidas was made to agree, and he went inside, and he is sitting before the deity, closing his eyes, and is putting his hands on the feet of the deity. And said, okay, I will touch the feet of Sri Krishna, but I don't want to see Krishna form. So I won't open my eyes. At that time, Krishna smiled at Radha, said, Radhe, my best devotee has come to me. And today, he doesn't want this form, Krishna form. So I'm changing my form to Ram, and you change your form to Sita. Let us bless him. And slowly, when he raised his hands on the feet of Lord Krishna, he found that silk satin cloth that Krishna is worn, that is not there. It was a tree bark. He said, how Krishna can wear? And Krishna's feet, they have got a lot of decorations and lot of ornaments. No ornament was found. So slowly, he raised his hands and then slowly opened his eyes. And to his great excitement, there he found Sri Ram and Mother Sita standing. That was the reason, later they say, the Pandit said, that Tulsidas believed in God is one as per Vedanta, and that God takes many forms. So all the forms of God are in truth one only. They are coming from one divinity. So that divinity is one. God is one. No doubt about that. There is no question of changing it. I remember in South Africa, once I was talking to children. One child was sitting there. Of course, she goes to a Christian school, and they have the religious class also. So the madam on that day was telling these children that, you see, Christian, what is the different religious belief on God? That was the topic. So when she came to Hinduism, she said Hindus do not believe that God is one. They believe that God is many. Because this girl is coming to Ramakrishna mission and attending our all classes of Vedanta. So this girl, though she was young, only 8th standard or so, she got up and she said, "Ma'am, I would like to tell you one correction, small correction, if you please allow me." So ma'am said, "Yes, okay. What do you want to say?" Said, "No, we Hindus believe God is one, but the God can take many forms. That is what we believe in. That is what taught to us." Then ma'am said, "Is it so? How can it be possible? You say God is one. If you accept that God is one, how can God be many? If you accept God can be many, then God is not one. How these two can be synthesized?" Then this girl said, "Ma'am, I will ask you one question. Do you believe that God is omnipotent?" We use these terms when to describe God's powers. God is all powerful. What do you say? Omnipotent. He is present everywhere. That means he's present, omnipresent. And he knows everything. Nothing can be hidden from God. Then you say he's omniscient. These are the three qualities that we attribute to God. If anyone is called God, he must have all these three qualities. You can find out whoever is God, does he have these three qualities? Even in the modern Kali Yuga, if anybody claims that I am God, then tell him, do you have these three qualities? Test him. So, the girl said, "Do you believe that God is omnipotent? He can do everything and anything?" She said, "Yes, God is omnipotent." If that is so, who is there to restrict God's powers by telling God, "You cannot take other forms"? The man was nonplussed. So, next week, when she gave notes, she wrote there Hinduism believes also in one God, but it believes also that one God can take many forms. So, the notes were given to her. So, I was very happy when the small girl told me, "But this is what happened to us in our school, Maharaj." Like that, she said. Yes, it's a wonderful thing. See, God is one only. But which form that you like? Which form is highest pleasure to you? That form you take. So many of the aspirants in around you can see they have got different gods. And in one house, in one family itself, I have seen some of the families having gods' pictures. And if you go into that puja place, you can find almost all the gods' pictures are there. Everywhere. In Malaysia, one devotee invited me to his house. And when I went there, there is no space on the wall where there is no picture. The entire four walls, except the entrance door, all the four walls have been pasted with pictures of different gods and goddesses. Do you think it is bad? No. That is the stage where you understand that one God can take many forms. Many are not aware of this truth also. And most of us believe that we are worshipping one preference to one God or one form of God, and that form of God alone is true. The rest are all mere ideas or mere imagination. So, my God is alone true. Other gods worshipped by other people in other forms are not in truth. Now, this is a terrible thing that happened in the 18th century when India was under the foreign rule. We are taught that thinking God has got many forms is a false idea. Don't believe in that. That is how we are taught. And so the modern boys and girls that who have started having English education, as I should say, started having these type of ideas. And that was the time Sri Ramakrishna appeared on the scene. And he practiced. He saw all gods. There is a small Bengali poem that Sri Ramakrishna repeats here. It's a funny, you see. Outwardly, he appears as Shiva's devotee. He has got a big Shiva's ashes on his body. And then, but in his heart, he worships Kali, the Divine Mother. So he's thinking of Mother Kali. And then, with his tongue, he chants aloud Lord Hari's name. And he is telling Hari's bhajans, Hari's name. What a wonderful mixture of all the aspects of God. So, this name and form attributed to a particular deity is a particular manifestation of the one God, whom we call in Vedanta Brahman. So, that Brahman, which has got no form, has got no attributes, no qualities, comes to a state lower than that state and comes with forms. It is something wonderful idea. The evolution of the idea of God is itself a big subject. How the God aspect, this concept came, from the time of fearful to the gods, creating fear. The gods created fear among the humanity, and we accepted the superior powers of these gods. And the worship of stone, worship of tree as tree. From there, Swami Vivekananda says, if you proceed on the evolution of God, then you come to the highest thinking of God, that God is one, He is all pervasive, and He has become everything. So that is a wonderful idea. And that idea Vedanta says, and Sri Ramakrishna has experienced in his life, all these gods are one. In Tamil language, there are two lines, very beautiful line. It says, Ariyum Aranum Onnu, Ariyadavan Vayil Mannu. So this is a very beautiful statement. And it says, Hari and Hara, both are not different. They are same only. And if you do not know, then we say, if you say something very good, very blessing things, we say, oh, let there be sugar in your mouth. So they say, let there be your sand in your mouth, because you do not know. You don't understand that Hari and Hara are one, non-different. They are not different. Not only Hari Hara, everyone. You take everyone. Everywhere you see this, the modern children not having proper religious education questions these ideas. Again, we are going back to the 18th century. We are not reading Sri Ramakrishna, neither reading Swami Vivekananda on what Vedanta is. The Vedanta says clearly that where is Vishnu? It says very clearly, He is within, He is outside, He is everywhere. Antar bahischa tat sarvam vyapya narayana stitaha anantam avyayam kavigum samudrentam vishwasambhuvam. What a beautiful way they put it. He is inside, antar, bahischa, outside. Tat sarvam vyaptam. It has pervaded everything. That entity is God. And that God, because my mind cannot rise to that level of thinking of that God, and naturally God comes down for my convenience, because He loves me, because I am devotee of Him. He loves me. So He comes down to my level and accordingly takes the forms and names, etc. So multiple names He has got. And that's why Sri Ramakrishna here, he says very clearly, he says, fix your attention on that form which appeals to you most. But no for Satan. Okay, I like Krishna, okay. I like Lord Muruga, okay. Whatever it is. That particular form of God, you have got a great leaning. Okay. But know for certain, because certainly you should know. What is that certain? That all forms are forms of one God alone. That is a very important teaching Sri Ramakrishna gives us. That means you can have any types of name, any types of forms. Even some people are chanting, Sahasranam, either Vishnu Sahasranam or Lalita Sahasranam. You take any Sahasranam, 1,000 names of God. Even then, you cannot exhaust. You can go up to the 1,000th name, close a book. There is 1,001 name coming up again. There is no end to that because it is endless. So at least 1,000 has been given to us. Okay, you count 1,000. You cannot count. That may be one of the reason, taking the mind always to infinity. Sri Ramakrishna could never get into arithmetic. The end of the passage we read, that Sri Ramakrishna himself says that he was not very fond of arithmetic. Because in arithmetic, you have to count. Counting means finite. Even if you say billion, billion, billion crores, it is finite. It is not infinite. So Sri Ramakrishna gives a beautiful example of the two aspirants. One devotee, he saw Narad Muni was passing by. So he called Narad Muni, made pranam to him and said, "Oh Rishi, where are you going now?" "I am going to Lord Vishnu. I am going to meet him. Would you please ask him?" The devotee asked him, "Would you please ask Vishnu, in how many janmas, how many births I will attain his holy feet?" Said, "Okay, I'll definitely ask him, don't worry." Then Narad Muni went to another village. There another aspirant was there. He asked the same question. "Please ask Vishnu when I will have my realization of Vishnu." Narad said, "Don't worry, I will ask him." So he went to Vishnu Loka and met Vishnu and asked. And while coming back, he came to the second village where that aspirant asked, "Did you meet Vishnu? Did you put my question to him?" He said, "Yes, yes. I asked him very clearly, you belong to such and such a village and your name is such, and you want to know that when you will have." Then Lord Vishnu told me that look at the tamarind tree in the village. Then this man looked at the tamarind tree. Yeah, there was nearby a tamarind tree. In that tamarind tree, how many leaves are there? Count. That many births he has to take to reach me. That is what Lord Vishnu said. This man looked at that. What? Tamarind tree, even in a small 1 inch, if you take a twig, you can see how many leaves are there. If you start counting leaves, you will never end it. Millions, billions and billions and leaves are there in the whole big tree of tamarind. And so many births I have to take. It is futile to think of Vishnu. I will not worship anymore Lord Vishnu. He was so disgusted, he left the place and went away. Narad came to the first village where another devotee was there who has put the same question. He asked with eagerness, "Oh, Rishi, did you meet Lord Vishnu?" He said, "Yes, I met Lord Vishnu." "And what did he say?" He repeated the same. Do you have a tamarind tree here?" "Yes, here it is, standing. Huge tree. It may be 200-year-old tree. You see the tree? How many branches?" And he said, "Count the number of leaves there." And then what did he say? Then Vishnu said, "You will have to take birth of the total number of leaves in this tree." He started dancing with joy. Hearing that, he was not disgusted. He started dancing with joy. Then Narad Rishi was stunned. What is this? That man was disgusted, learning that so many billions of births he has to take, but this man is dancing with joy. He said, "Hey, do you understand the purport of what Lord Vishnu said? You think that you are going to have his vision tomorrow, day after tomorrow? No. Several births you have to take. And not only several births, all these, count these trees, leaves, all small, small, small leaves. Count them. It will be billions. That man smiled, said, "Oh Rishi, what you say is true. But then it is a limited sankhya, limited number. It is finite. So one day it will end, is it not? And that day I am looking for. Because it is finite, it will end one day. Infinite is something different. In infinite, what we say? There is no question of counting. No counting. You count as much as whatever number you go to the square or to the any you go any number, but it is all limited. God is unlimited. His glories are unlimited, ananta. That gods, you find that, so Sri Ramakrishna says, but he is warning him also. What did he say? That never harbor malice towards anyone. Anyone means here not any man or human being is telling. Anyone means any name and form of God. Don't keep malice. Shiva, Kali, and Hari are but different forms of that one. He is blessed indeed who has known all as one. He is blessed. If you are, when I will call you not blessed, when you say these gods, names and forms are different from each other, not one. The moment you come to the conclusion that God is one and he has got different names and forms, finished, you are blessed. So, and then looking at Kedar, the master said, he is very nice. He accepts both the absolute and the relative. He believes in Brahman, but he also accepts the gods and divine incarnations. Some people, after reading a little of Vedanta, deny existence of all these gods and goddesses and divine incarnations. How futile the study of Vedanta has become. Sometimes I wonder, what did you learn? There is only one God who has become many. And this Kedar, you see, he accepts Brahman. He believes in Brahman, but also accepts the gods, different forms of gods, that means, and divine incarnations in human forms. Yes, if God can take, as per Bhagavata Purana, the 10 most widely known avatars in different forms, can he not come as a human also? So he came as a human. And you can see that he can be half human, half animal, or he can be a simple animal also. So in any form he can come. So he has got full power to exhibit himself, to manifest himself in any form that he wants to do. So he says that Kedar is such a wonderful, because Kedar is much elder to Swami Vivekananda. Before Narayan came to Sri Ramakrishna, a few devotees had come, and one of them was Kedar. And another was Nitya Gopal. Here we find Nitya Gopal also. This Kedar and Nitya Gopal used to come to Sri Ramakrishna. Kedar, of course, was working in what we call now Bangladesh, that is in those times East Bengal. So he was in Dhaka. Dhaka was the capital. So he was working there. So he used to get leave from his office work. And when he would get during the vacation time, that is during the Durga Puja time. So at that time he used to come to Calcutta and visit Dakshineshwar and sit with Sri Ramakrishna. And Sri Ramakrishna found Kedar blabbering with all sorts of sadhanas. He's going here, he's going there, he's going there. Then he found out, and then this man has to be corrected. So he put him in a particular sadhana where he started teaching him. And he gave him instructions on spiritual life. And from that time onwards, Kedar started a steep progress in his spiritual life. So Kedar was one man, and another was Nitya Gopal. Nitya Gopal is also a wonderful man. He used to come to Sri Ramakrishna. He didn't marry. And then when he used to be there with him, Sri Ramakrishna guided him very much. He was a young boy. When he was a young boy, he was enamored by a neighborhood lady. The lady was uh, spiritual, rather I should say religious, and she was very devoted lady. So she used to practice all types of disciplines of devotion. And Nitya Gopal was very attracted to that lady and he started going there. And Sri Ramakrishna, whenever Nitya Gopal used to come to Sri Ramakrishna would find out. He knows. He was omniscient. He knows everything. Sri Ramakrishna used to say, when a man comes before me and stands, I see everything about him, as if I see a glass case. Through the glass case, you can see whatever kept in that case. Like that, I see persons. So he knew Nitya Gopal. And this time also, you see how Sri Ramakrishna is giving me a warning. He says to Nitya Gopal, don't go there too often. You may go once in a while. She may be a devotee. Okay, she is a devotee, I understand. But she is a woman too. Therefore, I warn you, because that was the destiny of Nitya Gopal to remain unmarried. And that should not be stopped. That itself, to have a brahmacharya, lifelong brahmacharya, is a great blessing of God. And that should never be disturbed. And if by some fluke, some type of error in judgment, he falls, then it is a great loss of him for his spiritual life. So Sri Ramakrishna is telling, your line is different. Your line is not that line. If your line is a householder lines, I would not have told you anything. Yes, you can marry and be in the family. No problem at all. Sri Ramakrishna never denigrated the married householder's life. He said, okay, that should be your route, then okay. But he knew Nitya Gopal has got other things. Nitya Gopal became a great saint later. And in 1911, I understand that he passed away. In Calcutta, he established a mutt. And that mutt was established in South Calcutta. The street name was called Manohar Pukur Road. And from Manohar Pukur Road, this ashram was shifted to Rash Bihari Avenue in Calcutta. It's a very beautiful ashram they have made there. And this ashram, there his body is interred. So Nitya Gopal became a great saint. And how many people he guided later in his life? See, Nitya Gopal, like that he mentioned these two names amongst other names also. He says, oh Ma, Kali, please give them the power so that they can know the spirituality much more. So when they come to me, I utter one or two words and that is enough for them to grasp. Think of Sri Ramakrishna's Karma Kathor. Swami Vivekananda says in the Arati song, Sri Ramakrishna was a Karma Kathor, terrible worker. He used to work. How did he work? He used to understand each one according to his tendency, according to his temperament. He used to guide him. It's a great job. And tirelessly. And when he get tiredness, he used to pray to Mahakali. What a beautiful way Sri Ramakrishna puts it here. And he says, after warning him, he speaks about a sannyasi. The sannyasi must observe very strict discipline. What a wonderful. When we read this, and in the Ramakrishna mission, they were young boys when we come and join, and we stay in the ashram. The ashram Ramakrishna mission has got a particular type of functioning. So the functioning, there is a lot of public coming together. That functioning is there. Say, for instance, I was posted when I joined Kanpur ashram, I was posted in the department of dispensary. So early morning we had to go to dispensary and work there. And do you know how many men would come? How many women would come? and you have to dispense the medicines. Doctor would write the prescribe the medicines. You have to collect the medicines and give them to those patients, to those women. They come before you, and then in any type of public activities like library, like the relief work, you are coming into this world in contact with women. So how do you avoid that? Sri Ramakrishna says a sannyasi should not even look at the picture of a woman. This is not applicable to householders. That also he adds. So, how do you maintain that? And what should be your attitude? So, I remember my guru's instruction on this matter. This is a very important matter, for all those boys who become monks, and likewise all those girls who would like to become nuns. It's really a matter of great consternation and great thinking, because how do you avoid women in your life? Is it possible? Because the activities are such. So we asked my guru Srimad Swami Nirvanananji. I'm happy to tell you, today is his birth tithi. So from early morning, I'm thinking of my Gurudev. And I'm sending also about my Gurudev, the article that I wrote to many people. So he was the person. So when we were all sitting under his feet and this question came up, so we asked him, Maharaj, how do you do? Then he replied to us, he said, you are part of the Ramakrishna order. This Ramakrishna order functions have been devised and designed by Swami Vivekananda himself, who was the greatest of the sannyasis. Think of Swami Vivekananda, how great sannyasi he was. And that Swami has created this path for us. So we are all working here. Yes, public work is entailing meeting with women, definitely. But what you should think, as you are all youngsters of your age, if women come to you and you have to deal with her, then think her as your sister. If an elderly woman comes to you, you think her as your mother. Call her Bone, means sister. Call her mother, Ma. In that way, if you add these words to each one, you will be able to remove the idea of lust for woman. A woman is desired by men because of the feeling of lust. So if the lust has to be slowly taken down, slowly reduced, it will not completely disappear unless the body disappears, as they say. But it will be brought to a minimum level, and with that minimum level, no harm can come to the society. And then he kept silent for some time. Then he added, in your loneliness time, shed tears before Sri Ramakrishna's picture, before Holy Mother picture. Shed tears. If there is any such thought in me that should not crop up, that should not hurt me, that should not hurt the society, like that, you start weeping. And the rest is in his hands. And he will do a magic. You can yourself feel as you age, as you become older and older and older, you will understand how women behave with you. If you had the feeling of lust, they would not behave in this fashion. How women come to me, they sit under my feet and then they make pranam, and I talk to them every day. What they feel, I have become a father to them. Even the oldest woman, older than me, my age, if she comes, I am still a father to her. So that attitude, when you start developing, and that development comes by his grace. So weep cry before him. That was a wonderful, we all try to do that practice, and you can understand how people are attracted to a monk. It is not just a monk's charisma that is attracting him. He is also developing the feeling that all women are my mothers. So if you have that feeling, then there is no fear to the society. You will never do any harm to the society. So think of that. So Sri Ramakrishna gives, of course, very strict instruction for sannyasis. A sannyasi, even though he may have subdued his passions, so okay, should should follow this discipline to set an example to the householders. Householders are looking at these monks, how these monks are behaving in the society. So they want to know, they want to learn. Worldly people learn about renunciation by seeing the complete renunciation of the monks. Otherwise, they sink more and more. How compassionate Sri Ramakrishna is. Just imagine how wonderful, compassionate he is. He said, worldly people are sinking more and more. They should have someone to see and to raise up themselves. And that's why a true renunciated sannyasi must be living. He says, a sannyasi is a world teacher. What a beautiful way to see this passage coming close. And of course, we shall continue in the next week. And thanks, many of you, more than 425 people have registered, subscribed to our channel. Welcome to all of you. And please attend to all our classes. By YouTube, we are giving these two classes plus the class on Tuesday also, which is on Bhagavad Gita, conducted by my brother Bang Swami Purnananji. But then for India, it is of course very inconvenient time. It is 12:30 a.m. in India. But then it's all right. You can hear, definitely, these are all recorded in YouTube. And in our YouTube channel, you will find all these classes are there. So you can anytime put it conveniently and hear and get benefit. May Sri Ramakrishna bless all of you. Om Niranjanam Nityam Anantarupam Bhaktanukampa Drita Vigraham Vai Ishavataram Parameshamidhyam Tam Ramakrishnam Sirasa Namamaha. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.